4 in 10 adults, 45 and up, are lonely. Empty nesting, kids going off, doing their own thing. That is part of the loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And by this point, you're kind of in a position of, I've spent so much time raising them
That I put myself on the back burner.
and maybe I haven't nurtured my friendships. Hi, I'm Tonya.
I'm Erin.
And if you've ever thought, is this it?
Pull up a chair.
This is hella good living.
We don't do midlife.
We do more life. Cheers
Cheers
to friendship,
to friendship.
which is what we're going to talk about today. 4 in 10 adults, 45 and up, are lonely.
I believe it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
4 in 10. Well, define loneliness is the first thing that we probably need to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously, empty nesting, kids going off, doing their own thing. That is part of the loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And by this point, you're kind of in a position of, I've spent so much time raising them.
That I put myself on the back burner.
And maybe I haven't nurtured my friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Or
and you're being a wife, potentially, partner.
Yes. And it's not even, did you nurture the friendships? It's, did you have the time to?
Right. Yes.
Because I know there were periods when my children were younger where I was so busy that I didn't have the ability to, say, help others out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I had a lot of moms that would offer help, in return, which probably would have helped form friendships,
Yes.
things like that. But being the type of person that doesn't like to ask for help, that was very hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
So children are your first factor. Maybe proximity is another thing. A lot of the times the friendships that you build after you have children
Mm-hmm.
are people in sports, people in school,
Right.
kids in their classroom.
Right. Well, and I think about that, and I think, there's two ways to look at it, right? There's maintaining the friendships you already have, and then trying to figure out how to build new friendships based on this new time in your life, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think children impact that. I think the schedule, of course, impacts that. But then, like your relationship, because you also have to put time and energy into that potentially. Work.
I was just going to say work relationships too. For me, I have kept very good friendships with most of the people that I've worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Like along the way, each job that I've had, I've walked away with one really good friend from that company or whatever. But they're typically, again, not nearby, especially now with the virtual world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have friendships that I made working from home that I never see them, but
Right, they live across the country.
Marco Polo them every day,
Mm-hmm.
which is, thank God for Marco Polo.
Right.
That's definitely one way we try to maintain friendships. But yeah, it's like you typically make friendships too that are based on your relationship with your husband. So couple friends.
Yes.
I mean, look back at our scenario.
Right.
In our 20s, we were constantly doing something.
And the best time. It felt like the best time.
Right. Yep.
And you're right. We had couples. We were constantly doing this. Was pre-kids for all of us. So we were every weekend. It seemed like it was a party of some sort.
Yep. And then relationships fall apart. So you have this group of couples that are they're going through this phase of their life together, and they're talking about children, and they're
starting families,
yes,
potentially
getting married. Gosh, the year we got married, 8 weddings in that 1 year.
I was going to say, I'm
that
sure
we
we had so many weddings. Mm-hmm.
It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you start having the babies and people start moving to their separate areas, that tends to fall off a little bit. Then comes the divorce.
Yes, if you've experienced that and that.
Well, what is it, 50% divorce rate? Mm-hmm. So you look around at your friends, your friend couples, and realize that half of them probably won't be together anymore.
Right. And at that point, we were at a point, I feel like, because we've been friends since we were 5, basically. But at that point, when the divorce happened, there had already been so many levels of change that some of those friendships had already pulled away.
Yep.
And then, it definitely felt very lonely at that point.
Statistically, they say your close friendships peak in your 20s and then they free fall after that.
Mm-hmm.
I know personally when I divorced, and I didn't divorce until 40, but I had 2 to 3 really close friends of mine that I no longer am in communication with.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. These are people that were in my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that, like I spent all my time with. And they made these choices for their own reasons, and I completely understand it. One in particular, she basically said, I'm focusing on my marriage, and it's hard enough as it is.
Right. So she couldn't be there to help you through yours, the end of yours.
Exactly. Just the negativity that maybe came with it, the changes, okay, I'm going to go out now because I can, well, I don't want to because I still have a husband and child at home, things like that. So I did lose a couple really good friendships, and that was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Really hard for me because of course you're going to question, like, what did I do? Mm-hmm. Am I not a good friend?
Right. What could I have done differently?
What could I have done differently? Now I understand, now that I'm much wiser, that, the reasons they did that. And I can respect that. And I actually do have one friend that's kind of coming back in the picture now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because, okay, we're now
leveled off.
It's leveled off. The kids are grown. Like, the focus has maybe changed a little bit. There's more capacity.
Yes.
To handle the friendship.
I think that's a big thing, right? Not just your own capacity, but the people that were in your life, their capacity to continue the friendship.
Yeah.
And I think through my divorce, I had such a major shift in my life as far as my financial capacity.
Yes.
That the friends that I had previously, I wasn't able to continue to do the things that they were doing.
That's a really good point.
And they were friends that weren't our 20-year-old couple friends, but were friends that I had made while my kids were little.
Yeah.
And we were at dance every day, or we were at practices every day. And yeah, that just changed a lot. Like I couldn't truly afford to go out to lunch, to go out to dinner, to go do all these fun things that I was able to do previously.
Right.
So
that's a good point too. Yeah. So there's a lot of factors that can go into friendships that deteriorate or fall to the wayside. When was the last time though you made a close new friend?
That's a really good question.
I mean, like I said, I think that most of the ones that I have made have been work related.
Yeah. And I've worked at the same job for like 18 years. And
right.
Some of my best friends work there.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, I've had them for a very long time.
Because it's hard. Mm-hmm. So another stat, 200 hours is what it takes to build a real closeness. And Midlife has zero. Well, up until midlife, we've had 0 hours available.
Right. That's exactly right. Whereas I think now we're looking at it going, wait, where did all my friends go?
Right. And I have this capacity now.
Because I have the time to think about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And forever, I'm so grateful that we're close, that we live nearby, that we see each other often. That's not a problem. So my bucket feels full a lot of times in friendship.
Yeah.
But if you're busy or if I'm busy or something happens and it's like, oh, wait. What do you mean?
And I mean,
what do you mean?
And we've gone through this because, like, I'll be dating somebody and you're not, and you're like, okay, what do you want to do? And I'll be like, well, I have plans. And now, that role has reversed, and it's like, oh, what am I going to do with my time? My kids don't need me as much. Mm-hmm. My couple of besties are typically very busy in their relationships or whatever it may be. Yeah, it's hard, and I think to myself, where do you go make friends?
Right. Right. Where do you go to make friends? Because again, a lot of my friends the new friends that I made came from sitting at those long hours of practices. When I was at dance, I couldn't leave the dance studio. My kids were too little. I couldn't be away. So I was literally...
You were kind of held hostage.
Hostage. That's the word.
You were held hostage to talk to this group or set of people.
Yes.
Now, sometimes that's great.
Right.
They're the people that you find like, oh, I really enjoy these people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just don't enjoy them.
And sometimes you don't connect. Or you don't connect with all of them. And all of that is true. But that is absolutely,
Yeah, well...
now what? Then it became the time where you could drop your kids off. Well, then you're not making connections that way any longer. And now my kids are gone.
Yeah. But at least when you're dropping them off, like, I was busy.
Right.
Now I'm not busy.
Right. Would you say you were less lonely, though?
No.
Right.
No. I do things to try to be less lonely. Like, I reach out often to some people, and it gets very frustrating and sad sometimes because I don't hear back, or they're always busy or whatever.
Because now you have the capacity to
because
do
I
that.
have the capacity. They're still raising kids, or they're working like, a full-time job that is above and beyond typical hours.
Right, or outside the home, or
Exactly.
whatever.
Or they've moved away, or, the kids are gone now, so they go travel. And so there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I've felt kind of, pretty lonely.
Yeah.
As of late. There aren't as many things to fill my time, which I'm trying to learn to fill those. And in doing so, maybe picking new hobbies and things like that, I will meet more people.
And I think that's a great idea. Even that, though, I think about it and I think, I might be sitting at a new place or with some new people. And I think to myself, that person seems really interesting, or we are, we vibe on levels or whatever. I cannot imagine going, do you want to be friends?
Well, I don't think you do it that way.
But, that's what kids do on the playground.
That's true. That's true.
Why can't you just be
I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can.
Well, I guess why can't you?
I think there's segues. I think there's maybe segues. And we'll talk about that a little bit.
I would love to know.
When we're talking about takeaways, maybe there's like some segues to things like this. But yeah, it would be great if I'd be like, I really like you. You're cool. Like, we should hang out sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would that be creepy?
I don't think so, because if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I was thinking the same thing.
Unless you didn't vibe with them.
And
then you'd be like, I am so busy. So busy. Yeah. 200 hours though to build real closeness.
That is a lot.
So you're meeting this new person. You're going to have to spend 200 hours with them to become really close.
That's a lot.
I think maybe it depends on just how well you vibe, but yeah, sure.
Right. You think about that. That's a lot of dinners, or that's a lot of coffee time, or that's a lot
it
of,
certainly is.
I don't talk on the phone, so that's not a way I'm going to get to know somebody.
No, me either. Well, we already know that. We don't even like to call each other.
Right.
Like if the phone rings and your name's on it, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like what happened?
Where are you? I'm coming.
Are you okay? Because it's not just, hey, you want to chat?
Yeah, no, never.
But people call us. They love to chat. So 58% feel that no one truly knows them because it's quantity versus depth of relationship.
Yeah, which is sad and I would say I'm the exact opposite of that.
Okay.
I have friendships. I have few friendships, but they are deep personal friendships.
Right.
Versus quantity. If you were like, call someone, but it can't be these 3 people, I'd be like,
oh, see, I could do that. I could easily do that. But yeah, is the relationship that the person that I'm calling, is that relationship a deep one? Probably not.
Right.
Do I like them? Do I enjoy being around them?
Right.
Everything else? Yes. Have they reached that depth yet? So I guess kind of when it comes to the 200-hour thing, that's not completely wrong, because I have several people, that I will call and be like, I haven't talked to them in a while, let's go get coffee, whatever.
Right.
And little by little, I'm knowing them more, but this is over years.
Right. And that's where I'm lacking for sure. I was kind of those people, because I just really haven't tried. I have been in a state of survival for so long.
I know.
And truly, after going through my divorce, and I felt some really deep humiliation during that time, that I am just now recovering.
Avoided people.
Basically. Yeah, I avoided people for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and because it happens in the community you're in with their kids in the school system and things like that. Yeah. A little bit different in our exes, the fact that mine is at every sporting event, and we can sit next to each other and we can have a conversation and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
So I think that does make a little bit of a difference. But yeah, the biggest thing is you've got kids, aging parents, jobs, etc., that have kept you from developing those relationships. So when you get to midlife, then what do? Because now you're ready
for
more.
I've got time. I'm ready for more life.
And they're saying women's loneliness actually climbs through midlife, whereas men's peaked at 40. How do men do it?
Which is interesting. I don't know. Is it because they're oftentimes out of the home more, maybe. Maybe they've maintained their relationships.
Well, yeah, they're playing golf and shit while we're dealing with the dentist appointments and I mean,
And
not everyone,
not
but
everyone. But you wonder, is that a reason why? Or, I always had so much guilt when it came to, missing something of the kids or not being able to be there. And yeah, I put everything else on hold. So instead of joining you for a girls' weekend, I was like, but, I'll miss this or that, So.
That's a good point. Because it doesn't make sense to me that men at 40, like all of a sudden have these, like their loneliness peaks at 40 and then it gets better. Also, though, we both have experienced that there are a lot of men that once they get into this midlife phase, they're looking for their best friend in their wife.
Yeah, that's true. And that's come from dating. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's a whole other topic. I don't know if it factors in really, but like, I think about that, like maybe they just don't feel lonely because they're like, well, I got what I need.
Well, though, I think of differently, like members of my family, let's say, or more recently people I've met. And it's like, I also have noticed that those men are a little more, they're putting themselves out there more. Like, my brother, for instance, plays in a cornhole league, like,
Does he really?
goes
That's
to,
awesome.
like it's very ingrained in his community. So he is always going to things. And I'm like,
he's also in a position where he probably meets a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's crazy.
I have worked from home now for 6 years. I have not met new people.
But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I've wanted to play pickleball for how many years now? And I've yet to go. And if I go, who I'm going to end up going with are my children.
I'll try pickleball. Jesus.
But here's what I'm saying. There is an opportunity in there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But okay. So you, at one point in therapy, your therapist was like, you need to like date yourself. Like basically take yourself out, go to a movie alone, go to dinner alone, go whatever. Have you done much of that?
I go everywhere alone.
Right.
But have you taken yourself out
alone? To dinner alone?
Like I have not. Have I done that? I have not done that. But I look at the list of things of date yourself. It's like, go to a workout class, go on a hike,
you do those
go.
Things. Okay.
I do all of those things.
So I'm just curious. I brought that up because I'm saying if you're not comfortable, like going to dinner by yourself, whatever, are you going to be comfortable walking into a pickleball group,
right,
where you know nobody, and introducing yourself?
Right.
And are you going to be?
Yeah, no, probably not.
But you're going to workout class.
Yeah, I go to the gym. I go do all of that.
But when you go to a workout class, do you talk to anybody there?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Like the people I see all the time.
Okay. Well, I know you're better at like, just smile at people, Tonya. And I'm like, awkward. I've been talking to people at the gym, by the way.
Good for you. Good
anyway.
Job. Good job.
Okay. So why this matters? Because it's not just about being lonely or not having friendships. It actually can be tied to your health. So heart disease, cognitive decline, which is a big one for me that I'm worried about. Mortality risk. They say for dementia, that you need to consistently be communicating with individuals. Like that was when my mom was going through it. They're like, it's actually good for you to call and talk to her about things, even though she couldn't really carry on a conversation.
Right.
But so if you reframe it, you look at it like rebuilding or building friendships in midlife is actually health maintenance and not just like a luxury.
Right.
Which I do believe. I was
that.
in Walgreens yesterday. Now I'm sick, in case anybody can tell by my voice. So I'm tired and on meds and cranky as it is. There was this little old lady walking through Walgreens, and she was first up at the counter, and she's talking to the guy, and she's just like, I just don't even remember what I came for. And he's trying to like, well, did you need this? Did you need this? Like, I don't know if she was a frequent, shopper there, but next thing you know, I'm back by the pharmacy getting some meds, and she walks back there, and she's like, excuse me, to this other worker there. She says, I think I need Band-Aids. And so she's showing her the Band-Aids and stuff. And it's reminding me of my mom because she's very frail, Mom always went out. She couldn't stay home. She had to be going somewhere at all times, but didn't always know what she was doing there. And I started sobbing in Walgreens.
Oh, yeah. Triggered
I'm
you.
like, A, it reminded me of my mother. B, I don't want to end up alone and wandering
around Walgreens looking for,
my mom was a little bit different in the fact that when we saw it coming, we talked to her about it and we said, let's like be proactive about this. And she was like, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm not going to do anything. I will do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if, putting myself out there at this age to build friendships or even just socialize, like I'm going to do it.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
I'm going to do it.
How?
Okay. Well, let's talk about some takeaways.
So how are we going to do this?
One thing that you said that makes sense and is talked about, a lot. What do they say? Like, why have a million pennies when you can have 3/4, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the depth, not the head count.
Right.
So aim for 2 to 3 real friends and not necessarily a big, huge circle.
I've got that.
Like I've wished for years that I could be like Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Okay, I really do.
Yeah.
Like a group of like 4 people that were inseparable, went everywhere together. I know people in our town that are like that, and
Mm-hmm.
I envy them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that I do have 2 or 3 real good friendships,
mm-hmm.
and that is enough. It's
right.
just that the loneliness sometimes comes when they're all busy.
Right. Right.
You know, and then you're like, well, maybe a relationship would be great. And then I go, no, Tonya, you don't want to date. So anyway, so that's one thing. Pick depth. And, maybe it comes down to if you do have somebody that you're like, I really like this person. And I call them periodically for coffee or a cocktail or whatever. Do it more.
Yeah.
Because you need that 200 hours to kind of build that up, to get to know that person in and out. I think where it gets hard for me is when you're trying to do that and maybe they're just continually busy. And then you start to feel like, well, maybe they just don't want that kind of a friendship with me.
Right. This is a question off the cuff here. Can you front load the 200 hours, like do a weekend getaway? You know what I'm saying? Like a girl's getaway.
I mean, I would love to do that shit. I would love to have girls' weekends where like we invite people that wouldn't necessarily be in your circle typically or you don't know well. I would love that.
That would be kind of fun.
That would be fun. We should do that.
Yeah. Add it to the list.
Add it to the list. Well, I already have that one. I would love to have like more women-related events and just bring people together, because the other thing is doing that, you find out who else wants those types of relationships and wants to spend that time. So otherwise they're not going to come. Right. Make it reoccurring, not a let's catch up. Even you and I have a hard time with that though. Like, oh, let's have a weekly this or a monthly that, or like, let's do a book club or and
it gets lost.
Typically like a standing monthly dinner, walks we do pretty good with, but they're not like preset. It's usually a impromptu. Or just, vague plans never happen. Especially in your 30s to mid 40s because of the kids.
Right.
So we should get together soon. And it's literally 2 years later.
Right.
And you're going, I haven't seen this person in 2 years.
We have a friend like that.
Has it seriously been 2 years?
We have a friend in our town just exactly like that.
I know.
And it's like,
I know.
What are we doing?
So yeah, make it a standing, recurring event, which I agree with. And here's the thing. If you say we're going to do dinner the 3rd Thursday of every single month and you have something going on, that's okay. Come to the next one.
Right. Yes.
Because sometimes it doesn't always work out. But I always think like, okay, I've put that on my calendar. So when the kids say something, I'm like, well, I have plans at night.
Right. Unless it's something you absolutely can't get out of.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, another one. Lower the bar to reconnect.
Ooh, what does that mean?
A text saying thinking of you counts. It doesn't need to be a whole event. I have done that before too.
I have done that as well.
And I go like
this in it though.
But don't you think when someone does that to you, aren't you like, oh my gosh,
yes,
that's great.
Yeah.
And then we feel guilty, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's just, I don't know, women in general.
But yeah, one thing that I would recommend to listeners that we use is Marco Polo. We've talked about this. Suck at texting, frankly. suck at
The worst.
texting, and we don't like phone calls. So it kind of makes shit real difficult sometimes. And the other thing that you are famous for is responding to a text but not hitting send.
I do that because I get distracted.
So I'm like,
when I'm at
gosh,
work.
that was 24 hours ago I messaged her. What the heck is going on?
Especially when I'm at work or even with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, it
So
is.
Marco Polo is kind of cool because it does send you a notification, and you know you can go and you can listen to it on your own time.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not like being held hostage on a phone call.
Right.
Sorry for anybody who likes phone calls or likes to call me. I feel like it's a hostage situation.
Yeah.
This is my own timeline. I can listen, stop in the middle of it if I get distracted.
If you have to go do something,
Come back to it. I love it. So that's just something, our own recommendation. Go where repetition happens, which is what you said. A class, a league, a book club, volunteering.
Yes.
Maybe a pickleball club. Go to pickleball.
I'm going to join a book club one of these days.
I keep saying we need to just create a book club. But the problem, again, and this is an excuse.
But again, if it's just you and I that ends up reading the book,
exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly. That's the excuse I use, though.
Everyone
is like,
else,
well, what if everybody can't make it every week or every month? So what?
Right. I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Book Club for Troublesome Women. It's very interesting, actually.
Really?
It's set in the 60s, so you can imagine what these women, why they're troublesome.
Okay. That sounds interesting. I actually wouldn't mind reading that.
It's fiction, but yeah.
I'm good with that. Be the initiator at least once. Someone has to send the first text. Let it be you.
Yes. Yes, that's a good
one.
one.
And even if, I feel like, even if you send that text and let's say you're like, let's get together, and you guys go back and forth, and it goes on for, I've had this happen, months. Keep doing it.
Keep trying. Or even, too, you could be like, I'm going to be at this event.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you could come. You know, so it's like not just you and I.
That means I'd have to go to more events, though.
True story.
So.
True story.
Say the honest thing, which might be exactly what you're like. I'd like you to be my friend. This says, I miss having close friends. Is more bonding than small talk. Vulnerability is what starts a relationship.
Right. We talk about vulnerability in our partnerships with men or significant others, right?
Yep.
That would be another thing in friendships as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because I'm not good at being vulnerable. Even in our friendship, I've noticed I'm not good at being vulnerable. There's been a lot of times where I've wanted to say something or I felt bad or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going to burden her with that but being honest and upright about I'm just lonely.
Yeah.
Is probably not a bad thing.
Right.
Like I'm just calling to see if not calling, I'm texting. Just texting to see if you're doing something. I'm really lonely today.
Yeah.
Love to hang out, talk to somebody.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I can do that with guys.
Oh.
Like my guy friends. Easier than I can my girlfriends.
That probably goes back to high school, middle school drama.
Maybe.
Right? I think that friendships, in theory, probably have been difficult since we were young for a lot of women. Because they're just challenging things that happen.
Yeah. And I don't recall us when we're growing up or even in college. Like, we did good. We didn't have a lot of mean girl activity, things like that. We had one bully in high school that didn't like any of us because we were all close.
Right.
I think was the whole thing. But I think that the girls nowadays have had to deal a lot more with that type of stuff than we did. I think there's more bullying. I think there's more and instead what we need to be doing is women need to be supporting women.
Right.
So you've got two camps there. A lot of the times you'll see like the ones that are real, girl gang, we're ready to go. I'm here to support any of you anytime, whatever. And then you've got the mean girls.
Yeah. And
I don't know that changes necessarily midlife either. There are some people that are like, I'm good with my circle. I don't want
anyone to add in.
To include you.
This is it.
And that's fine, whatever. But yeah. So, and that brings up the next one. Audit your circle. Who do you want to see more of? Who's drifted? Who do you need to reach out to? And maybe who don't you want to reach out to anymore?
Right.
And then just realize, as we've said, you lose friends along the way, friendships shift. We're kind of an anomaly, I think. But for the most part, you're not always going to have the same friends going through your life.
Definitely.
You're just not.
Definitely.
So audit that circle once in a while. And like at this point in our lives, I want the women that are more hype girls.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, and I think about that, and I think about if you haven't maintained that one friendship or a couple of friendships like we have, who do you have? I can see that loneliness being there much more so, because
Absolutely.
I do feel really blessed at this point of I don't feel super lonely. I have my very small circle, but it fills my bucket, right?
Yeah.
So I feel really fortunate to
Mhm.
have that.
Mhm.
But I think that, yes, just figuring out how to widen that circle out a little bit would be.
Yeah. Well, I think according to these takeaways and things that we've talked about, I think it's putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And you don't always feel comfortable doing that. Now, me personally, I hit 50 and now I have that I don't give a fuck attitude. So I'm more likely to do it now.
To say,
I'm more likely to walk. I walked up to somebody at the gym today, was talking to her about her hat. I don't typically do that. Not because I'm an extroverted type of person anyway. But I just remember growing up with my mom and my sister who would talk to everybody about anything. And it could get real embarrassing. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to do that when I'm older. Like, I don't want to like be weird around people.
Right.
But now I'm like, I'm going to be weird around people.
No, little weird. Why not? We don't have to talk about everything in the first to the cashier.
Yes.
Just remember being with your mom.
God have mercy. Anyway, so what's one thing that you will do differently now to start creating some different friendships?
Different, new,
new, old, like maybe
I think that a couple things. I think one is reach out to try to foster some relationships that have drifted.
Yes.
That I know that
are important to you, that you know you want back.
Yes, that are deep relationships that I feel like I'm more in a place to be able to give back to that relationship, right? And the other one, I guess, would just be, maybe adding in an activity or I am big on wanting new hobbies.
Yeah.
And so in that, maybe looking at a hobby and making a friend from that hobby, or seeing if I have somebody already in my circle that isn't interested in doing that hobby too.
Right. Because that could actually foster
a deeper
friendship with somebody you already knew that maybe you didn't realize could be such a good friend.
Right.
If you have something in common, there's that extra, oh, you like to do that too? Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You just have to have that one little spark of like, what do we have in common, or what can we do together that can move
that we can build on, potentially.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about you? What are you going to do?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I want to just reach out more, even if it's just a text, to people that I haven't talked to. And I've actually been doing this.
Okay.
I actually sent a text the other day to somebody that I haven't talked to in years.
Oh, good.
Because I know they're going through something. And I was just kind of like, my friendship meant a lot. I'm here if you need me, whatever. So doing that periodically, because I know from my perspective, when I get that text, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I just want them to feel like they're not alone.
Right.
But the other thing probably is, talking to people in public. Right. Like actually going out and talking to people physically, not over social media.
Right.
Not, because these phones have changed the way that we socialize.
Right.
That's, I think, why we like Marco Polo, because yes, it's still your phone. It's still kind of like a social media, but I
can't be with you, but I can still see you.
Exactly.
Versus a text.
I can see your face. I can hear your voice. There's the contextual part of it. Like, So I think I want to be actually more in person, talking to people, and go up to them and say, will you be my friend?
Will you be my friend? Will you be our friend?
All right. Well, let's work on that.
All right.
Here's to friendship.
Cheers to friends. Cheers. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Hella Good Livin'.
If you're nodding along or texting this to a friend,
make sure you're following us at Hella Good Livin' on TikTok and Instagram.
And find all the good stuff at hellagoodlivin.com.
We don't do midlife.
We do more life.